Welcome back to Idaho Today. Welcome to Wrexham is a docu-series tracking the dreams and worries of Wrexham, a working-class city in North Wales, United Kingdom, as two Hollywood stars guide the future of their historic club. Meanwhile, Wrexham AFC's women's team, fresh off an undefeated season that saw them promoted to the Welsh Premier League, they continue to show why women were meant to be footballers. We're joined right now by Gemma Owen, head of women's football operations at Wrexham. Gemma, so good of you to join us all the way from Wrexham in North Wales. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
And you too. Thank you for having me.
All right, so I want to start by kind of laying a little bit of the background here. So the women's team, they have since moved to Rock Stadium, playing in the Adrian Premier after winning promotion via a playoff against the winners of Adrian South. They started this journey out of pure passion, right? But now the women are getting paid. How exciting was it to see them rewarded for their hard work?
It was really important. It was a huge thing that we wanted to do, and one of the first things that we wanted to do was to reward the levels of commitment, firstly, that they'd already given to us, but then the levels of commitment that we were going to ask for them going into this season. So, you know, it was very, very important that we rewarded that and placed value on what they were doing for the club as well. So, yeah, a key point for us to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's about time, right? The passion's there. It's about time, and I'm so glad to see that, you know, right now it's starting to pay off, and cannot wait to see it continue to pay off even more. Rob and Ryan Reynolds, you know, the two really investing in this team, they've been very open about how they believe that this team is the best women's team in the entire world. However, we also hear from you, too, that you're a little concerned about, you know, the women having targets on their back. Let's talk about the team handling the new pressure now that they've been promoted.
Yeah, there's definitely targets on our back, and you know that is part and parcel. We expect that, and we understand that absolutely. But what that does is it does place pressure on the players. It places pressure on us as staff and as a club as a whole. So, you know, dealing with that has been new and very, very interesting. But I feel that we as a group of staff and players have handled that fantastically well. And you know, we can't express our pride enough in how they've dealt with that. It's, you know, these players and staff, you know, we're just very normal, down-to-earth people who have got day jobs or school, college. You know, there's a lot of external factors here, and for us and players to be able to go out there and showcase what we have done under the pressure that we've been under has been nothing short of phenomenal. So yeah, very proud of every one of them.
Yeah, and I also, too, want to point out, because we were showing some footage from the series itself, that some of these women in the beginning of their journey, I mean, they're working day jobs, right? And then they're also going and committing to this team. That's why the payment that we talked about in the beginning was so incredibly important, because now they can invest even further, especially since they've been promoted, right? Like, you want more investment, more time from the team that they can really dedicate to rise to those pressures and that level of competition. Let's talk, though, more too about these women that are on the team. I would love to know, you know, how do they like their new pitch? And as mentioned, you know, this is a whole new level of competition. So is it fueling them even further, would you say?
I would say so. I think it's important as well that as we grow as a club and as a women's section, that the resources we have grow with us, and you know, the more we can provide for these players to enable them to be the best that they can possibly be, you know, that can only be a good thing. And you know, we've got so much ambition and so much drive to succeed as a football club, and particularly as a women's section, that we want to be able to, you know, to grow organically, and we want to be able to provide as much as we possibly can for these players. And you know, they mean so much to us as people, and we just want to try and help them to succeed as much as we can.
Yes, and speaking of, you know, on the other side of the pond, if you will, coming up this summer, you're going to be paying a visit here. So your Rex Coast tour. Now, I know you've been to the States before, right? But are you excited to be over here?
Oh, we're really excited. I can't wait personally. I think that's fantastic that, we're being provided with this opportunity to be able to travel and for people who have watched us throughout the season, whether that's on the live stream or whether they've been able to come over in person, we feel that it's important that we're able to go over to the States and to just play in front of those people that have supported us for such a long time over this season particularly, and we're very, very grateful for all of the support that we've had from people in the US and around the world, and if we can repay that in some small way by coming to visit and by playing some games at home for them, I guess it's a huge honor and a privilege for us to be able to do so.
That's super exciting, and I imagine a lot of your fans here in the United States are going to be ecstatic to know that they're going to likely be able to see you in person. Is there anything else you can tell us about the Wrexham Coast Tour? Like, where can people go so they can learn more and they can stay on top of, the potential visits that you guys will be planning?
Our visits are not completely finalised yet. There's still a little work to do there, but please keep an eye on all of the social media channels that the club are putting out. Those dates and those areas of the US will be put out there shortly, I'm sure, and once they're all finalised. But we're so excited. We really, really can't wait to come and visit and just get to meet so many people that have supported us along the way so far, and to show our gratitude. We're massively grateful to everyone that's been, had our back and supported us. It's amazing, it really is.
Yeah, and I know we are massively grateful too for all the efforts and the strides that you've made for women in sports in general, right? I mean, I know we're talking about footballers, we're talking about this incredible sport, but this has waves too in the pond that extend much further too outside of this. So thank you, Gemma. Thank you to your team. Looking so forward to have you here in the States. And for everyone at home, make sure that you watch Welcome to Wrexham on FX and streaming the next day on Hulu. Gemma, again, thank you so much. Idaho Today will be right back.
This